Hey everyone, JagTagger93 here with another Doom WOD. This one is 2014's Contra Commando's Friday the 13th for Doom, called Jason's Doom. This one is a very interesting WOD. It's made in the spirit of the NES Friday the 13th game, which I actually really enjoy. The Friday the 13th NES game is a survival horror NES game, believe it or not. And it really is. It's very hard. It's a bit cryptic, as it probably should be. And a lot of people hate it because of LJN, because it's hard to figure out what you're supposed to be doing and so forth. But I really think with NES games, you can't really get on them for being cryptic, because a lot of them were. And, you know, some of those are considered classics anyway, like The Legend of Zelda, I think is a lot harder to figure out than Friday the 13th on the NES. Friday the 13th on the NES is also very hard, but it probably should be, because you're against freaking Jason Voorhees, right? Yeah, there's other things in the game, but they're just minor obstacles once you get used to playing. But yeah, I really enjoyed the game, and we're going to play some Jason Doom now. I'm very much feeling the Halloween mood, even though Halloween is already over, unfortunately. I didn't get any trick-or-treaters. I think that it's probably because Halloween was in the middle of the week, and it's the weekend after. But you know what? Let's fire up some Jason Doom, and I'll rant a little bit about Friday the 13th. So there's Jason. In this WOD, he can teleport, and he runs all over the place. He's very hyper. Oh god, yeah, and you don't want that to happen. He'll teleport right up your ass and just shove a machete up there, and yeah. Of course, you start off with the Doom pistol, and it's actually very weak in this WOD. You want to get other weapons that you wouldn't think would be stronger than a pistol, but they are. Like the machete. The nail gun is a decent weapon. I'm looking for that. There it is. There's also a shotgun later, which helps a lot. And there's Mark on the ground. We are screwed if Mark is dead, because Mark was one of the better counselors in the Friday the 13th game. That's another thing I like about the game. The counselors all have their different attributes. Some are more lucky than others, meaning valuable items will pop up more frequently for them than others. Others can rowboat faster than others. Some of them can jump higher than others. Some of them could take damage better than others. So they all have their different attributes. The best attributes in the game are definitely speed. So Chrissy, Mark, and Laura are good picks in the Friday the 13th game. Get them the torch, get them the sweater, or you should get Chrissy the sweater. Pitchfork if you want. You can get one of them a pitchfork if you want. Not necessary. And yeah. That's how you win the game. I actually have a playthrough of the Friday the 13th NES game on my channel. Now, I apologize if I sound a little nasally. The weather has been very crazy and just making hell on my allergies. So very dark in this room. And light over here. Oh! There he is. Come on. Got a crossbow. This is just silly. So people have asked me before, Jag, what's your favorite Friday the 13th movie? And I always say 4. But there's all little things about each one that I like, even 5. Like, the first one, I really, really like for its point of view shots. Its POV shots where you're in the eyes of the killer are very well done and very good, especially for the time. Because at the time when, Friday the 13th was first made, no one had no idea who Jason was or what he looked like. I think that's kind of ruined today when you see the first movie. And if you don't know the killer is Jason's mom, you're probably assuming it's going to be Jason in those point of view shots. But I think that kind of ruins the point of those shots. Because again, at the time, no one had any idea who Jason was. So when you're in the perspective of the killer, you have no idea what they look like. It's almost like Edgar Allan Poe's Casco Amontillado, where you're in the perspective of the killer in that Edgar Allan Poe story as well, and you really get no description of them at all. So let your imagination go wild. One thing too that's kind of ruined as well is when people see that movie and think Jason is the killer, because Friday the 13th is Jason's series mostly. But when you see that and you think Jason is the killer, you're wondering why are all these characters like Annie, the counselor that wanted directions, so nice to this person? Why are they trusting them so easily? And well, you find out it's Pamela Voorhees, who looks like she should be on a cooking show, not murdering teenagers, but she does, and I think the movie is all the better for it. Then we get Friday the 13th Part 2, our first Jason movie, but he doesn't have his mask, which is interesting. He doesn't get his mask till the next one. And Friday the 13th Part 2 was a bit of a shocker for me. And a downer as well, too, with the protagonist of the first movie dying very quickly in the beginning of the second movie. I thought that was very... it's a shame. It really is. It's, I just hate in video games and stories where a character does so much to survive, so much, and then in the end it's for nothing. It's kind of like the Ripley thing from Aliens, where Ripley defeated the Xenomorphs, which is no easy order at all, but did it, twice, well, 3 times, I guess, and at the end of Alien 3, she dies, through factors beyond her control completely. But I guess that's just how death works sometimes, and oh god, we got stuck on a texture over there. Come on. There, we downed him. Alright, we grabbed the key. We gotta run. And he'll be back up soon. We're gonna go outside and try and get that shotgun. Friday the 13th Part 3 is just fun. It was originally made to be 3D and it shows, but I love the theme music to it. Now, 4 is my favorite for a lot of reasons. First of all, it has Crispin Glover, one of my favorite actors of all time. And second of all, we have Corey Feldman doing exactly what protagonists in horror movies should do more of, where when they got the big bad prone and out cold, go to town on him. Turn his brain meat into mush. Just hack away and don't make sure they don't get back up. And that's exactly what he does at the end of Friday the 13th Part 4. Corey Feldman upright murders Jason brutally, as he should. The movie strangely plays it up as if this is an act of evil or hatred, and we should be afraid of Corey Feldman now because of this, but no, he's doing exactly what he should be doing if he wants to survive, and he does survive, and that's the end of Jason. Then we get to Friday the 13th Part 5, which is my least favorite one, and I think a lot of people agree, but I see what they were trying to go for. In Part 5, Jason is not the killer again, it's a copycat killer, actually. And I understand why they did that. You can't have, the thinking at the time probably was, well, we can't have Jason just resurrect from the graveyard, or like a zombie or something. That would just be silly. How can we have Jason back and it be somewhat realistic and not just be stupid? So they had a copycat killer, which I don't think works too well with Friday the 13th. It's much too self-aware. I think that works much better in a series like Halloween, having copycat killers, which they never really did. They teased it with teenagers dressing up like Michael Myers and, being caught in the crossfire like in Part 4. But I think it would have been much more effective, especially if you did something like that between Parts 5 and 6, where Michael Myers is on the loose and Haddonfield is on high alert every Halloween, and every now and then, every couple of years, there's a copycat killer, and people are wondering if it's really Michael Myers or not, And that would explain why the town is so paranoid of Halloween at the beginning of Halloween 6, along with the Michael Myers stuff. Then we get to Friday the 13th Part 7, which is interesting. It's Jason against a telepath and someone who has psychic powers, which is interesting. They're... Oh, did I just skip 6? Yeah, I did skip 6. Okay, 6 is where, it's very, very clear Friday the 13th is self-aware. And, he just comes back as a zombie. Lightning bolt and everything, a la Frankenstein's monster. Now, you'll notice him circling around the cabins right now outside. The reason for that is, outside, if Jason's going to attack us, it's much more... We have more room to run. And he's either going to be here or here, either in front or in back. Or if we go in there, there's all those nooks and crannies he can surprise us from. So I'm hoping to draw him outside, but... the AI in this is very spastic, so I don't think it's doing this on purpose, but it definitely wants us to go back in, unfortunately. And then, we get Friday the 13th Part 8. Jason takes Manhattan. A very misleading... Oh, shoot! Ah! Let's try that again. Jason Takes Manhattan, a very, very misleading named edition in the Friday the 13th series, because if you see that movie, it's mostly Jason on a boat. He ends up going to Manhattan at the very, very end. And then we get some new production ownership. and a whole lot of WTF-ery with Jason Goes to Hell, Part 9. Interesting ending, though. Of course, you guys know what the ending is. We get our Freddy Krueger reference. Setting up Freddy vs. Jason. Yeah, and I really dug the beginning of Jason Goes to Hell. I really thought that was really clever. If there's certain there's a killer out there, a Jason killer who's done all these terrible things, yeah, why wouldn't you have a all-out manhunt for him? Which the FBI does. They set it up, bait it perfectly, and blow the hell out of him. And I don't care how indestructible or how powerful Jason is, point blank with a shotgun, you should blow some meat off those bones. You know what I mean? That's just physics. And that's what they do. They just blow the hell out of him. Ah, he's teleporting all over the place. Come on. How much blood does he have in him? Jesus. Come on. Wow. We're making a mess. Okay, that got him. Yeah, he's going to get back up. Let's run outside and grab the boomstick. Now, I'm more of a Nightmare on Elm Street fan than Friday the 13th fans, but I like both. So Freddy vs. Jason was interesting. I didn't really... There were small things about it I liked. Like, I remembered Hypnosil from Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, but there's a whole lot of cringe in it. Like, I remember one character, I forget who, but one character said something to the effect of, when they realize Jason and Freddy are after them, one of them says, "Oh man, now we're not safe no matter if we're awake or asleep." Something to that effect. Meaning, Jason will get you if you're awake, and if you're asleep, Freddy will get you. But that line, though, "Man, we're not safe if we're asleep or awake," that just... Okay. Jason doesn't give a shit if you're sleeping. At all. If he comes in your cabin to murder you when you're sleeping, he's not gonna think, "Oh shoot, I'll come back later. I want to wake him." No, he's still gonna murder you. So if just Jason is after you, yeah, you're not safe if you're awake or asleep. Oh wow, that was old school Jason right there. I peek my head out, and he got a good swipe at my noggin with his machete. That is something totally out of the movies. Come on. Jeez. Alright. Out of shells. Great. Then there was the Platinum Dunes remake of Friday the 13th, which, you know, I don't hate, actually. I didn't hate it as much as others. Granted, I'm not a huge Friday the 13th fan. Some people are much more fans of it than I am. But I didn't hate it. I thought it was okay. I mean, I didn't think it was great, and I didn't think it was very good, but it was passable, you know? They didn't do anything to ruin the character of Jason Voorhees. I mean, say what you will about the Friday the 13th series and how some chapters in it have been weaker than others, and how self-aware the series has become. They've shown quite a bit of respect to the Jason character over the years, and a bit of restraint. Much more so than I think with the Nightmare on Elm Street series. Like, I mean, by Part 6 of Nightmare on Elm Street, we know Freddy Krueger's home life when he was alive. We knew he had a wife. We know he had a daughter. We have all this backstory that really waters down the character. With Jason, we don't... Oh, yeah, we know his mom, too. And, we kind of sort of know his dad. I don't know, it's one of those maniacs that, you know, raped Amanda Krueger. One of them. But, no, with Jason, it's a lot more open-ended. Yes, we know he had a mother, and yes, we know he drowned, and yes, we know he probably had some behavioral or mental disability. But, you know, besides that, we don't really know too much about... Got him. Nice. The final bloodbath. But yeah, we don't know too much about Jason. And thankfully, they never ever had Jason talk. I'm pretty sure he's grunted. I think I've heard that at some point. But he's never talked. Thankfully. There was never a moment where he told the characters his master plan, what he wanted to do. A la Freddy Krueger in Part 3. That always drove me nuts. Yeah, he does it too in Part 2 as well too. Jesse, when he tells him that he wants, you know, to possess him, but there's still, he doesn't outright explain it as much as, he's not as talky as he is in Part 3, but No, we showed a lot more restraint with Jason. With Jason, we still don't know who his father is, and I hope we never do. The less you know about a character, sometimes the better. All right, and that is it. We killed Jason. I hope everyone had a very happy Halloween, and yeah, I'll see you all next time. This is Jag Tiger 93 signing out. You have a good one.